Hello everyone, it's Mr. Washahi again, and today we're going to continue talking about integers. We most recently practiced adding integers, and most of you guys found that when you're adding integers, especially if they're opposites, that you're really subtracting. So today we're going to move on to the next operation, which is subtracting integers. It could be a little more challenging, but ultimately in the end you're really going to go back to your rule that you got from adding integers. So I'm going to show you two ways. I'm going to show you the visual way using counters, and I'm going to show you just the written way, which may be easier for some of you guys. So here's the first one. I'm going to show you with counters first. So here we've got 5 minus negative 3. So always look at your first number and represent that with your counter. So remember, yellow is positive, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 positives. That's my positive 5. And here the operation is telling me to subtract negative 3. Well, I don't have any negatives to subtract. I don't have any reds out there so at this point. So that's where you are going to get your positive 3. But the only thing is you can't just give something a number. You just can't make something a negative. So I'm actually, with these negative 3's, I'm going to give it its 0 pair. So I'm going to give it 3 positives. So at this point, we still haven't added anything to 5. All we did was we gave it 0, because remember, these 3 reds and these 3 yellows zero each other out. But if you think about it, now we do have 3 reds to eliminate. So I could take away these negative 3's. And whatever you are left with, that's what your answer is going to be. Okay? So that means I'm going to count up 8 positives. So that's what your answer would be for 5 minus negative 3. It's going to be 8. Okay, a positive 8, because that's what I have left. Let me show you another way. Let's do negative 4 minus, and we'll go 6. So look at your first number. Alright, I'm going to put my negative 4 up there first. So 4 red. And it's telling me to subtract positive 6 from it. I don't have positive 6. But I'm going to give it positive 6, so I'm going to give it 6 yellow. I can't just give it 6 just like that. I've got to give it its 0 pair. So now I've got my first negative 4 and my 6 0 pair. So again, these 6 yellow and these 6 red really still just equal 0. But now I do have that positive 6 to remove. I'm going to take those out of the picture. And what I have left, that's what my answer is going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means my answer is 10. And since they're red, it's going to be negative 10. That's the visual way. If you want to visualize them like that, again, if you've got the counters, a red and yellow marker, or you could use circles and dots. Let me show you the other way that's just written. That may be a little easier for you to remember. One thing I always say about subtracting, that it is the same as adding the opposite. Let me show you an example. Let's go back to our first example. I'm going to use 5 minus negative 3. Okay, well here it's adding the opposite, so I'm going to use my keep, change, change rule. Keep, change, change. KCC. So I'm going to keep the first number as 5. I'm going to change my subtracting symbol to adding. And I'm going to change my negative 3 to its opposite. So the opposite of any negative number is going to be its positive. And if you think about it, 5 plus 3, that's going to get us 8, and it's the same answer we had from the example earlier. Now let's use our second example. Negative 4 minus 6. Okay, so keep the negative 4, change to positive, and adding, and the opposite of negative 6, or the opposite of 6 is going to be negative 6. So if you think about it, now I'm adding 4 positives, or 4 negatives to 6 negatives, and that's going to get me 10 negatives. So you have two ways of doing it. You could do the visual way with counters, or you could just keep the rule keep, change, change. Not keep, change, flip. That's something totally different. Do not confuse those with subtracting and adding integers. Okay? So just think of subtracting as adding the opposite. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit in your adding and subtracting integers lessons. Feel free to rewatch this video, pause, get more practice, do whatever you got to do to get better at these, because I know you will. Alright guys, good luck.